am Alexander B. Stevens. This is What Is He Thinking? I'd like to welcome you to the podcast that doesn't perpetrate a fraud or tell you comforting lies, but instead gives you productive and constructive truths for the benefit of women from the perspective of men. Let's go back in time, back to elementary school. Remember, when you were on that Little League basketball team for the first time, you were playing Little League soccer for the first time, when you were on that dance team for the first time, you didn't know exactly where you fit in. You didn't know exactly what you were doing. You were on the bench. You weren't playing. You weren't the star of the recital. What did you do? Did you cry and give up? Did you quit the team? Or did you put in that extra work behind the scene? Did you practice and practice? Did you talk to your coach, talk to your parent, talk to your older sibling, soak in all the advice you could get so that you could get better, master your craft, and become that starting point guard on the Little League basketball team? Become the number one attraction at the dance recital. Become that A1 goalie on the soccer team. What did you do? Did you work to get what you wanted? Did you work to shine, or did you quit? Let's fast forward to middle school. You were unfamiliar with how to operate that instrument. You didn't know what you were going to do in the band. You didn't know if you'd make the cheerleading squad. You didn't know if you'd make drill team. But you put forth your best effort anyway. You practiced. You got coaching. You spent in extra time. You're grinding behind the scenes when people didn't realize it. And you got better. And you made that cheerleading squad. You made the drill team. You became a major on the dance team. You made first chair, flute, clarinet, French horn, or whatever instrument in the band you decide to play. You put in the work. You moved up the ladder. You achieved your goal. Fast forward a little bit more. It's junior year of high school. Everybody's preparing and talking about college and where they want to go and what they might want to do when they grow up. Did you sit back and let the chips fall where they may? Or did you kind of hit the books a little bit harder? Did you volunteer for that extracurricular activity? Did you join that extra organization? Did you start doing things to try to make your resume look better for potential colleges that you might send an application to? Did you take the ACT? Not only did you take them, but did you take the study classes before you took them? You put that extra time in to make sure you got the best grade possible so that you'd have the best chance at getting to the university that you wanted to get into. You put the work in, you prepared, and you achieved your goal. Come graduation, you're at the University of Southern California. You're at the University of Texas. You're at Michigan. You're at Penn State. You're at FSU. You're at the college that you wanted to go to. Why? Because it just happened? No. Because you prepared, you put in the work, you did the extra work, and you made it happen. That's how it happened. Am I telling anybody's story? Have I told your story yet? Does any of this sound familiar? If not, keep listening. So you're finishing up with college. You're ready to enter the real world. You're ready for that real job, to make real money, so you can do real things as a real adult. Did you just graduate and just get on careerbuilder.com and hope things work out for you? Or did you put that work in at the end of college to make sure you really understood the material and you weren't just trying to get a degree by any means necessary? Did you take that summer before graduation or 2 summers before graduation and take that internship, volunteer at that firm, volunteer at that organization, and work for free so you could get that exposure and experience in the field that you knew you wanted to work in as an adult? After you graduated, were you networking, talking to people? Were you going to different job sites, Indeed, Career Builder, Monster? Were you on 5 different sites sending out applications? Were you talking to all your friends and all your friends' parents and all your friends' parents, trying to get a leg up, trying to get that job? Did you network while you were interning? Did you talk to those companies? Were you really busting and grinding to try to get into the industry you wanted to get into? Or did you just sit back and let things happen? Let the chips fall where they may? Did you wait for a job to knock on your door? No, you didn't. You prepared, you put the work in, you grinded, you made it happen. Am I telling your story yet? Does any of this sound familiar? If not, keep listening. So you're at your company, you're tired of this entry-level work, you're tired of this entry-level money. You see other people that you work harder than, you see other people that you are smarter than, moving up the ladder and making more money while you sit on your thumb looking stupid. Or do you? No, you don't do that. You put in those extra hours at the job. You go back to school and maybe get that secondary degree. You get that master's, you get that PhD. You talk to your work husband. You talk to your work mom. You get mentorship. You talk to bosses. You grind. You put in the work. You try for the promotion. If they don't want to give you a promotion, somebody's going to see your value. You maybe go to another company where they end up giving you a promotion and higher pay. You're moving up the ladder. You're in this industry. You're working it. You're climbing because you're great. You're making it happen because that's what you do. You're proactive. You're not going to be denied. You're not going to be passed over because you're a woman or because you're young or because you weren't born with a lack of pigment or whatever you think might be holding you down. You don't let it hold you down. You put the work in, you grind, you maneuver, you proactively figure it out, and you make it happen because you are you, and you're not going to let anybody hold you down. You're not going to let anyone get in between you and what you want. That's what you're all about. That's the type of woman you are, right? Am I talking to anybody? Am I talking about you? Am I talking about anybody you might know? If you think that I am talking about somebody you might see in the mirror every morning when you brush your teeth, if I am talking about somebody you know, then I just have one question. Why don't you work for love like you do and like you have done for everything else? Work for love like you do everything else. Am I saying you need to chase after men? No, I'm not necessarily saying that, but I am saying everything else in your life you proactively prepare for, position yourself for, you put in extra time and extra work for, everything else in your life except for the most important thing, many would say, and that is who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, who is going to be the father of your kids. Isn't this kind of a little bit more important than if you make $70,000 or $73,000 at the job? Everything else in your life you work for, you prepare for, you grind for, you overcome for, everything else but your love life. Your love life, hey, you're just supposed to sit back, right? Just live your life, do nothing special. And it's just supposed to happen, right? Everything's just supposed to fall in place, right? You're just supposed to be reaching for an apple at the grocery store, and your Boaz is supposed to also reach for that same apple, and y'all touch each other's hands and lock eyes and live happily ever after, right? You didn't have to do anything out of the ordinary. You didn't have to grind, work, prepare, put in extra effort. No. You were just doing you. You were just being regular, and it just so happened to happen, right? What makes you think that everything in your life, absolutely everything in your life, you have to work for, you have to change your life around for, you have to prepare for, you have to practice for, you have to strive for proactively? Why does that apply for everything in your life except your love life? How does that make any sense? So, I'm Alexander B. Stevens. This is the What Is He Thinking podcast. And the question I'm asking you today is, why don't you work for love like you do everything else? Why don't you work for love like you do everything else? Now, when I say work for love, am I talking about you being the man and approaching men that you desire and doing the pursuing and doing all the heavy lifting? All right. That's all you're going to get right now on this video. If you want to listen to the continuation and the conclusion of this episode, or if you want to listen to one of my many other interesting and educational podcast episodes, I'm going to need you to open up your favorite podcast hosting platform and search What Is He Thinking. Look for the podcast by the same name as this one, and you can enjoy the rest of the episode. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, Amazon Music. You can find the podcast everywhere. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for new topics for me to discuss, please shoot me an email at whatishethinking@gmail.com. And never forget, I'm not here to tickle your ear. My only goal is to tell you what you need to know.